I made this cuneiform tablet, and the reason I made it was I had gotten a decent knowledge on the Sumerian language, and I decided, well, I had written it on paper multiple times, so I decided to try and write cuneiform how the ancient Sumerians would have written it, which is in clay. And you make these little wedge-shaped marks right here, and you'd use it with a stylus. So what I kind of used was this stick I found. Hang on. It's kind of like a triangle. Not triangle. Okay. It's square-shaped, but the way you press down on it, so that you make these wedge kind of triangular-shaped marks. And so what I wrote in this tablet is pretty much I put the current year, like I said, like this year is 2017, and then I used just some test sentence like it was the dog ate by means of the cat, or again something along those lines. And so right here it would say, and again forgive my pronunciation here, we don't really know how, 100% sure on how the Sumerians would have pronounced their language, but either way, here we have mu'am, which would be this sign for mu, this would be u, and that's the a sound, so ah, and this is am. So considering that you merge the vowels together, you get mu'am. And so minus this, it pretty much this sign right here means the current year, or this year, and then that's the copula ending for third person, because this noun would be third person. Now you may be thinking this kind of looks like the sign that's used to refer to like deities or like stars and constellations and whatnot, but it is also the sign for in the copula. So pretty much mu'am. So this year is, and then I put the numbers. So these numbers, like all together, would read. Hang on. Ngeshuash, Ngeshash, Ushu, Umin, or something along those lines. So pretty much, this would be the number, if I recall correctly. That would be 1,200. These are one of these means 60. So either way, add it all up, it gets to 2017. Now, if you look here, sorry, this camera's got kind of bad resolution, if you will, but there's 7 marks here. You got 3 up there, 3 down there, and then we've got this one big one. Now, the reason I have that is because I had kind of made these marks like way too big, right? Like here's it in comparison to my hand, and it's supposed to be a lot smaller. So what I had done was I had gotten the stylus and I like pushed it all the way down. In reality, you're only supposed to push down a little bit, because so right here you have these other kind of wedge-shaped marks. I forget the name for it, but I know that shoot, there's like a German name for it. I forget the name. I'll probably put that in the description or something. And there's supposed to be a lot, like here, this is supposed to be a lot bigger, but I'd already made these wedges too large, and I couldn't make that bigger because, my stylus, is too small. So in the future, if I make another tablet, like all these markings will be like a lot smaller, so that the wedges here will be larger in comparison. But either way, let's continue on. So, this year is 2017. So this is the sign here for dog, and that would be Ugir, or again, pronunciation, not so sure, but, and then you got this sign right here, which is right, like a E sound, and this pretty much marks that the dog is doing something in the sentence. Now, I'm not going to get all into grammar and everything like that, but then it would read Urgire, or something along those lines, meaning so the dog is doing something. So the dog, here it's the word for cat, which is galun, and then right here is ta, which is something you add to the end, meaning by means of. So the dog is doing something by means of something. and then here's the verb, which is explaining what the thing, that the dog is doing by means of the cat is. Now, this would read ibtabigu, and so ib, again, it refers to something like, shoot, how do I say this? Like an inanimate object, because in Sumerian, like animals and stuff are inanimate, while humans and like characters and whatnot are like animate. So this means this is an inanimate, and this bi is also inanimate. So inanimate is kind of represented by like a B sound, but Sumerian cuneiform, it's syllabic, right? So like they use syllables. So IB is ib, BI is bi, and here we have ta. So pretty much ib, so something that's inanimate, the cat, so by means of the cat, it, as in the dog, and then this is the sign gu, which means like to eat. Now, it's kind of cut off here because while I was drawing, I was trying to test how hard it was, and I kind of snapped off the end here. You can still kind of see the wedge a little bit, but it kind of got cut off. But, so yeah, this is gu. Now, there's also endings, like, suffixes at the end, but because both of these are third person, okay, anyways, because both of these are third person and inanimate, like, they all don't get an ending. While, like, for example, if I was talking about myself, or if I was talking about another human or something, or saying, like, oh, you do this, or you something like that, then it would have things at the end. So yeah, this is pretty much my tablet. If you're wondering what this is, I kind of put my name in cuneiform, but I don't know, like, of course, most names don't really go well into Sumerian, especially because the syllables, like, it doesn't represent, like, all the syllables, like, in the English language, for example, so, but it has all the syllables in the Sumerian language, and, so, again, this isn't exact, but, I guess it's just as good as I could get, and this little line right here notes that it's a male name, while, for women, they would get the women name, and it's called a demonstrative. Perhaps I'll talk about it some other time. And so yeah, this is what I've been spending some time on. If anyone has any suggestions, if they'd want me to write like a simple phrase or something for them, and put it like in this and make a video about it, I'd be open to that, and you could put it into the comments and whatnot. And of course, I'll make sure it's smaller so that it looks a little bit more authentic, if you will. And you could tell it's the first time I kind of made it with clay, because you got, hang on, where is it? Okay, right here. These two marks here are supposed to go like all the way across. It's supposed to look kind of like a grid, but I kind of went kind of too light here and like too deep on this, but I'm generally proud of kind of what I did. It's pretty nice. So, see you some other time.